Hey team, how you doing? Pete again from Choice Driven. Thanks for hooking up with us for another episode. Look, we're going to have a bit of a longer episode, and this one we're going to talk about fear. Okay? So what's your greatest fear? Most people, they've got the same answers. It's failure. It's embarrassment. It's not making a team. It's being dropped from a team. Or just letting people down. Hey team, what if I told you your greatest fear probably isn't failing at all? Your greatest fear is actually probably becoming the person you're capable of becoming. Because once you reach your potential, you don't have excuses anymore. There are expectations. I remember the first time I heard Coach Carter use this speech, and like millions of people, I thought it was about confidence. Look, as I got older, I realised it wasn't about confidence at all. It's actually about responsibility. And that's exactly what Choice Driven is built on. You taking responsibility for the choices you make in life. Look, personally, we think failure is the enemy. Young people spend copious, enormous amounts of time and energy trying not to fail. Not trying out for representative teams. Not applying for jobs. Not speaking in class. Not asking someone to help them. Not taking leadership roles. Why do they do that? Why do they constantly stay away from these things that could be going towards their dreams? It's simple. Failure hurts. But failure's obvious. Everyone sees it, and that's why we fear it. We feel like we'll be judged. But the problem is, failure usually isn't what destroys dreams. Comfort does. Average does. Playing it safe does. Guys, every athlete that I know who made it professionally has failed at one time or another. They've either been dropped, they've been rejected, they've been cut from the team, they've been injured and had to fight their way back. And the difference in them succeeding and failing wasn't their talent. It was choice, because they embraced the fact that every setback became another choice that they got to make about their future. Now, I have a principle that we like to use here at Choice Driven. It's that failure isn't final, but quitting is. Now, a lot of other people use that as well. Not saying we made it up, but I love that bit. Now, in the movie Coach Carter, he says that our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. This line is the heart of the speech, I think, in Coach Carter's fear speech. So you think about that. Why would anyone fear being successful? Because success changes expectations, guys. Once people know what you're capable of, they expect it. If you become the best trainer, people expect effort. If you're the captain, people expect leadership. If you're the smartest in the class, people expect discipline. Success removes the ability to have excuses. And quite frankly, that's uncomfortable. A lot of people would rather stay average, guys, because average doesn't demand anything. I'll give you an example of how this relates to rugby union. So imagine two players. You got player A and player B. Player A is naturally gifted. Player B isn't. But player B trains relentlessly. And eventually player B catches player A as far as talent goes. Now player B has a choice. He either keeps pushing or relax because they finally made it. What does that mean? It means that that's when the growth really starts, after the success. The next choice-driven principle that I want to talk about in relation to fear and to the Coach Carter speech, what is your greatest fear, is that potential creates responsibility. So small choices are what build your greatness. We've talked about that before. Nobody suddenly becomes great. They become great through ordinary decisions. They choose to train. They choose recovery. They choose sleep. They choose honesty. They choose discipline. The world celebrates Saturdays. They celebrate championships. They celebrate contracts, photos. The real work happened months before that, though. Guys, choice-driven exists because your future is built one choice at a time. Every choice either moves you closer or further away. Now, if I was to turn this around and compare it to something from my army days, I'll put it this way. Nobody becomes a soldier in battle. That, sure as hell, is not one game you want to go into unprepared. They're built during the training. Rugby's exactly the same. Character doesn't appear under pressure. Pressure reveals it. I'll say that again. Character doesn't just appear under pressure. Pressure reveals it. So I'm a big believer that playing small doesn't help anyone. One of the most famous ideas from the speech from Coach Carter movie is that shrinking yourself doesn't help the world. Think about that. So let's think about it with sport. Have you ever played beside someone who knew they were good, but they refused to lead? They never spoke. They never encouraged teammates. They never demanded the standards. They weren't happy helping anyone. Guys, leadership isn't showing off. Leadership is a service. Your talent isn't just for you. It's for your teammates, your family, your future children. It's for your community. When you become your best, everyone around you benefits. Say it again. When you become your best, everyone around you benefits. This is why, I can't emphasize this enough, this is why choice-driven isn't just about rugby. It's about becoming someone people can rely on. Another choice-driven principle is lead yourself first. Others follow naturally. If you lead yourself first, people are going to see the effort you're putting in and they will go with that. Okay? One part people often overlook is the idea that when one person becomes fearless, other people become fearless too. It's contagious. That's exactly how standards change. One player arrives early. Soon it's 2 and 3. The craze catches on. One player cleans the sheds. Others follow. One player owns mistakes. Others start to become accountable. Culture isn't built by speeches, guys. It's built by examples. And we have talked about that previously. Look, the greatest leaders I've worked with, they rarely spoke the most. Now, I've brought up one of my mentors from the military, Derek Simpson. I was more scared of Simo when he was quiet than when he was talking. Because when he was quiet, I'd done something wrong. They just simply live differently. Great leaders. Don't forget too, your habits that you do give other people permission to improve. Where it may not be cool, they see, oh, we can actually do that. So look, if you're watching this today, I want you to ask yourself something. What dream have you talked yourself out of? What team haven't you trialled for? What business haven't you started? What apology haven't you made? What conversation are you avoiding? What's the decision you've been putting off because you're scared of succeeding? Because success demands responsibility, and responsibility requires courage. Look, guys, I'll end this with saying that at Choice Driven, we believe one thing. Your future isn't decided by talent. It isn't decided by where you grew up. It isn't decided by your postcode. It isn't decided by your parents. It isn't decided by your coach. It's decided one choice at a time. Don't fear failure. Fear never finding out who you could have become. Because one day you'll look back and the greatest regret won't be that you failed. It'll be that you never tried. Don't be that person sitting on the end of a bar stool in 20 years' time saying, I could have done that. Be the one saying, hey, I went and had a crack at that and I did my best and I got as far as I could. So this week, guys, make one choice for your future self that you know that you'll thank yourself for. Train when you don't feel like it. Study when others aren't. Say sorry. Lead. Take the opportunity. Apply for jobs. Apply yourself. Put your hand up. It's not going to hurt you, guys, because your future is never built by one giant moment. It's built by thousands of small choices. And that's what choice-driven is all about. Guys, if this message at all resonated with you, please subscribe to Choice Driven and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'm sure that the message needs to get across. But remember, your future isn't determined by where you started, guys. It's determined by the choices you make today.